Good morning. Welcome to Janet's Corner. It's September already, September 4th, and this is the 4th week. Last week we did a little bit of contour drawing. I explained what contour drawing was. And that there is hand and eye coordination. We talked about shapes, ellipses, and then for the ellipses, good exercise that I forgot to include, drawing different shape boxes, more oblong boxes, and then square boxes, ones that are upright. Inside, we're going to draw a circle without stopping. And with this circle, we're going to touch all four sides. Like that, and then come around here. Oh, we got a point at the end, which most of our ellipses don't have points on the ends. I'm going to make a nice ellipse here. And we want to touch all four sides. Okay, that was one of the exercises that we can do. Today I'm going to talk about a still life, putting together still life box. That's a lot of fun because it's your stage to place whatever you want to place. It gives you a reference point. Keep the eye from including the whole counter in your kitchen and the windows and everything else. This will limit it's a stage. And here we can place whatever items, you want items that relate to each other. Say items from the restroom or from the garden area. Let's see, a rake's not gonna fit, but hand tools. And playing around with hand tools. Today I'm gonna play with spherical objects and objects that have ellipses. I'm going to put my tallest object in the back. And once we put together this, the still life, we want a little bit of overlap. So I'm going to put that here, add an apple here. We're going to keep them not bunched together up on top of each other. Okay, we'll put a few chilies in the foreground. We'll scoot the bottle way back here so that they're on different planes. And I'll explain that in just a second. Whenever I'm setting up a still life, let's see, we can also, let's see if we can add, no. We'll just stick with these are the closer the object is to you, the further down on your format it is. So you got a paper, you draw a square. Okay, all your objects are going to live in here. You can also add in the front end of the stage. Front end of the stage is here. Later on you can make it into a table, a big thick wooden table, whatever you want to do. The further down on the format the object is, the closer it is. Your objects that are the closest are going to be down here on at the bottom of the page. And the further back you move the bottle up here, I'm going to draw a center line for my bottle and then measure my proportions. Say the bottle is 3 times the width. The width, I can say about 2 or 3 inches, and then the width, the height is going to be 4 times the width. I'm just making this up right now. The bottom of the bottle here, the top of the bottle here, and I'm going to measure out to the sides. This way, with my center point, I can get it symmetrical. And I notice that I have to bring that line in. And within this frame, we draw the bottle. And with the ellipse, oh, an oval for the ellipse. Notice I don't have any overlap right now. So I want a little bit of overlap, because with overlap, it'll push this object back even further. I'm gonna put a large shaker right here. Clean up that. And of course, my chilies, I might want to throw one off to the side by himself. I place interest on the stage. Okay, so I got overlap, and I have objects near the bottom of the page, means they're closer to you, and the further back objects are, the further up on the page they're going to live. Or I mean, where the placement. And here I tried out, let's see, here the objects, and then this gives you a good idea of objects that are closer, are closer to the bottom. And with light and shadow, it's nice to have a little lamp. This one I thought was going to be a lot brighter than what it is, but it's not that bright, because I wanted to show you the cast shadows and the shadows on the form. And if I put the light over here on this edge is going to be a lot darker, because the light is reflecting off the paper on this side. Your box, this box, I cut down 2 sides, and then I clip some paper to the back of it. You can go in and you can paint this paper whatever color you want. On the back side, decorate it as you want, with bricks, or give it a metallic appearance. That there we'll do in week 5. I want to go over texture next week and make a viewfinder. We'll work from a photo. But here, placement of your still life. I have different textures. I have glass. I have an apple, organic lines of the peppers from my neighbor. And cast shadows is with a stronger light. This bottle, it will cast a shadow across the cardboard and onto the wall over here. And with the shadow, okay, we're gonna put the shadow up this. Okay, the light source over here. So then this over here is really dark. And then the form shadow, I'm going to put on the opposite side of the bottle, because the light's hitting the bottle. And with the shadows, they vary in darkness. You have reflected light. Over here, a cast shadow. Here, I can get lighter and lighter. And the shadow near the object's going to be darker than out further from the point. Black objects, if you have something black, it's not flat black. And you're going to have reflections. If it's black material, of course it's not going to be a flat black. You're going to have variation of grays. Let's see, black, focal point. Here, it's the highest contrast area. Now, what I'm talking about when I say highest contrast is on the value scale. We're going to also put together a value scale. You can put together a value scale with, say, 5 different values, 10 different values. I'm going to start out with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then over here, the one's gonna be white, and over here is gonna be the darkest. That's gonna be my number 5. And in between, I want variations that will get lighter from a 1 to a 5. And a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. And it's a lot easier with your pencil. And to the point where you can't even discern, this line here should disappear. The dividing lines should disappear. So this value next to this value will create that line instead of drawing the line. The highest contrast, the focal point, say my focal point over here, where my eye goes first, that's gonna be the highest contrast area. Say a 1 next to a 5. A light against a dark. And you can, this dark against this light. And then we have even a darker area over here. And the reflection of light off the glass. Larger reflections over here. More detail in this area. That's where you're going to have your focal point. And from the focal point, you want your eye to travel throughout the whole composition. And here's I'm going to place all my detail right here. And as I move, I can follow the lights up along the bottle up, or catch the lights down here on my peppers. These are, they can be peppers, and with a few reflections on them. So that your eye is not just sitting right here at the focal point. You're looking at all of the rest of the objects within your frame. I'm going to put one over here so then the eye travels over here and it's, oh, there's a pepper living over here. Let's see, composing. You can compose with 3 objects, starting out with 3 objects, like objects. And like I said, next week we'll talk about texture. And with glass, you have a lot of reflections, and also the aspect of translucency, being able to see through the object. Transparent, translucency, I think it's translucency. And nice idea to start with the center line for your symmetrical objects, because symmetrical objects you can measure out from the middle, however tall your object is, to the width. And the widest part of your object. And then say the height is 3 times the width. Okay, I'm measuring across the width, height, 1, 2, 3. So I know that my object is going to be this high and this wide. I'm going to draw a box, and my object will live right there in that box. Let's see. Before we come back next week, probably get a value, put together a value scale from light to dark, and practice the ellipses over here. I know I need a lot of practice. Drawing a box first. And then as you draw a circle, try and touch each side with that circle in one stroke. See, I didn't quite touch that bottom. So this exercise reminds me a lot of how we learn to write cursive. Whenever we were in school, the kids don't really practice cursive a whole lot now, but the first bee that I drew, it probably didn't look like a bee. Or the capital A didn't look like an A. But after I practiced a while, it looked a lot better. And with practice, it takes a lot of practice. And some people takes more practice than others, like me. I have to practice a lot and take out time to practice. And oh, don't forget your sketchbooks. Any ideas that you have, either words or drawings or just anything that catches your attention, put it down in your sketchbook and date it. It's very nice to have a sketchbook. Include all those ideas so that later on you can reference them if something else comes up. Next week, let's see, we'll cut a viewfinder and work from a photo. And a lot of people like to work from photos because the space is already flattened for you, and all that's left is selecting an area in which you want to reproduce, and also combining two different pictures. That's really nice. Let's see, what else did I don't think I left anything out. I'll probably think of it, then hopefully I'll think of it next time. And there is a dark and light lesson. And then later on we'll move into landscapes and putting our objects in the foreground. Landscapes, creating that background, that middle ground, and that foreground. That's about it for today. Oh, and I would really like to see some of your projects. Hopefully we'll get a page set up where people can post their work, share their work, their ideas. If you want suggestions from the group or from myself, that can happen, but I'm real excited to see everybody's work. That's what I miss with this setup. Before this, with the class setting, we shared our work, we shared our comments, or maybe there's somebody there, somebody in class, hey, how do I get this here? How do I make it appear more three-dimensional? Okay, maybe I'm busy over here, somebody else steps in and says, all right, we can do add a few more lines to the top, or many other suggestions out there. Not a whole lot of them come to mind without looking at particular work. Anyhow, let's see, I will see you next week, and we'll put together a viewfinder. And in the meantime, a value scale, say 5 different values, 7 different. You can create one that has 10 different ones. And then from here, say my 5, that is a value of a 5. And even creating a drawing with charcoal, just with light and black, white and black, and leaving these out. A lot of contrast there, a lot of contrast. Anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you, Maria, with the camera. And let's see. Well, now see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.